It's got to be about their stories, about the people they care about, and about the moment in time that they can never get back. They all have stories to tell.
What you're creating lasts a lifetime. At most of my schools, it's the only history book produced at the school.
Our job is to really capture people's lives and memorialize them.
The yearbook is a love letter a school writes to itself.
You always want to ask meaningful questions because then you're going to get meaningful answers.
There's just a true love for the students and what we're doing.
And what Herff Jones has offered me is invaluable.
When they say we're in this together, we really are.
I want someone to come in and tell me, hey, this is how you do it better.
Well, good morning, everyone. This is Jamie Silver with Herff Jones, and welcome to the May episode of the Yearbook podcast. Hope this finds you well today, and I want to share that video to kind of kick things off with a little inspiration as us by your side throughout this process. It's May. Many of you listening are probably, hopefully, done with your yearbook or wrapping it up. For those of you listening who have a fall delivery, you're still finishing things up. And I did want to mention today's podcast is more about inspiration and looking towards next school year and kind of getting things started and rolling for next year. And I have a couple ideas to share with you and just kind of get you excited about that. If you are still working on your yearbook, the last few episodes shared have more, tutorials and how-tos. So if you want to refer back to that, for example, indexing, if you're working in that, there's more of that in the previous few episodes. Today is all about celebrating either completing the yearbook or almost done and looking forward to next year. So on that note, I did want to share a few things with you starting for next year that I wanted to highlight more. One of them is called Square One. We've had it for a little while now, and you might be using it. Some of you might be using it this year, but I did want to highlight with a new video and show you what it really looks like. And what Square One is all about is a tool to help you create an award-winning yearbook very quickly, and it helps by automating the process. For those of you who've done yearbook before, back in the old days we had modular design, and it kind of takes that one step further. So I'm going to share a little video here and just narrate a little bit as we talk here. For those of you who have not seen this, you'll be seeing more of it at Yearbook Camp this summer. We highlighted it last year, but you basically start with a layout, you grab these separators we've put in for you, these pink bars, and you'll see how this kind of segments the layout into chunks. And the idea here is you'll see with the squares in the background, and Square One, we're dividing into chunks that are so many chunks wide and so many chunks tall, because we've created all kinds of pop-ins, if you will, or modular design pieces that you can drop into those areas very quickly and result in this beautiful, consistent, award-winning looking book. So here, for example, 12 by 12. We're searching for all the 12 by 12s. We're going to pick one here, zoom in so we can see what we're looking at, and then drop it in. Up as necessary with the background with those squares. And we've grouped it so it stays together because they are individual pieces. Now we're going to look for 4x12s. Search through our library. We provide you a ton of them. I also did want to mention that while we provide these to you, you are more than welcome to edit them, hence why you see them being grouped. See, right now they're separate pieces, and then we're going to group objects to make it one so it doesn't get moved by mistake or pieces of it. But you can create your own too. You can start with ours, make it your own, resave it. You can start from scratch and make your own, but the idea here is to set up these pages with the separators so we have a nice consistent look and we get a lot of coverage. And then I have these chunks that you might identify for certain parts of your book next year, that the whole staff can just drag and drop and not have to recreate the wheel every time. And in the end, we're going to end up with this beautifully designed, consistent layout, ones that you see in these award-winning books every year. And it's going to result in more coverage because we're getting more pictures on the page, as you see here, as it comes to life. Line it up so it lines up with the background. So as you can see, we're putting together a layout with a ton of content really quickly by using these chunks. There's a 4x12 to fill that last spot. Line that up, and pretty soon we're going to drop some photos and just kind of fast forward to show you what the end result looks like. Oh, and you also want to delete these separators. We don't want those in the book. We're going to look out for those because that's why we made them pink, but there you go, the photos in it. So real quickly, that's kind of how Square One works. We will be covering a lot of this at Yearbook Camp. And speaking of camp, you may have seen the save the dates from me before. We do have registration open now. We do have a brochure here that explains it, but again, it's Lake Forest Academy, June 19th to the 21st. Also, do notice the scholarships are available. First come, first serve. We do need to get registered soon. So if this is something of interest to you and some students and the advisors listening, please do let me know. It's organized by myself and my local coworkers. Many of you know Melissa and Maureen, as well as Joelle and Betty. So for you guys listening, please reach out to me directly, phone number, email, and let me know if you're interested. And I'll share a link to this PDF as well that kind of shows you a breakdown, where it says mod design using Square One. That's going to elaborate a lot more and hands-on experience with what I just showed you, for example. But a lot of other topics from coverage, copywriting, photography, technology, time to work on your budget and marketing, and time to really build your theme with our artist and create a cover if you're interested. So for those of you who have been here before, you'll know that we give a lot of work time, a lot of sessions, and then time with an artist from the Kansas City plant to actually create that cover of your dreams for next year and kind of get a head start for next school year. So a couple things to note. We have some amazing keynote speakers this year. If you haven't heard of her, please check her out on Instagram. She has some amazing stuff to look at. I follow her. She's got a really cool eye. So take a look at her on Instagram, as well as Lori on Wednesday. Now, if you're not familiar with Lori, look her up. She's amazing. For those of you who have been to the Kempa Advisors Workshop, so the advisors listening most recently, in I think it was Lake Geneva in Wisconsin, she was the keynote speaker as well, and she's got a wealth of knowledge to share with you. So look her up. She's amazing, and she's going to be there to share her wisdom with all of us. So we do have registration open. We're using Google Docs this year. So if you're interested in registering, please do let me know, and we can get you signed up as soon as possible. Here are the costs involved. Please note that we do have commuter and resident options. Now, the resident option, if for those of you who've been there before, Lake Forest has some really nice dorms. The only thing is they don't have a lot of them. So we need to kind of run this as a first come, first serve. So if you're coming from a distance or you just want that overnight experience and extra work time in that kind of common area in the dorm, please do register soon because these do fill up and there's not a lot of them. They're really nice. So that's an option. Costs a little bit more, obviously, to stay overnight. Otherwise, commuter is an option, and most people do commute. And it saves some money as well, as long as you're willing to drive and you have time to get there. So that is camp in a nutshell. I will include a link below to this PDF so you can see this and share it with all those who might be interested. But if you can join us, love to see you there. It's a great opportunity to get a head start for the school year this summer. Now, we're going to backtrack a little bit back to this year because we're not done yet. It is May, but I did want to share one topic with you, or two actually, on distribution because we're all going to be doing this soon, or you might be doing this at the start of the next school year. And that is e-business, tracking yearbook distribution, and exporting a list. So most of you listening probably use e-business. If you don't, feel free to reach out and I can share more with you. But in a nutshell, e-business is a record-keeping tool both for you to record your in-school sales, as well as any sales we might be doing for you if you have us taking online orders for you or operators at our toll-free number. It's all being recorded in one place. This short little video I want to share with you today is just, this time of year, it's May. How do we get that data out so we can hand out the books to those who have purchased the book? So short video, and I will be back in 2 minutes.
This tutorial will cover how to use eBusiness to generate distribution lists. Open eBusiness and click on the Reports button. Then go to the tab marked Distribution. The report controls are located along the top. The first pull-down menu allows you to select the type of distribution list you want to display. All Packages will create a list of each package purchase and show any monies due for collection at the time of distribution. YOC Packages shows packages purchased through the Yearbook Order Center. Shipping lists buyers with their shipping addresses if you chose to collect this information in eBusiness. Custom items can be used if you're tracking sales of non-yearbook items such as spiritware. Financial lists all purchasers and the details of their transactions.
I'm going to pause you here just for a second. I was just out of school yesterday and we were talking about if we haven't finished yearbook sales yet, just as a reminder for those fall delivery books, under reports here, you can pull a very simple and quick report and show you all non-buyers, including email addresses if we've included that from the start of the school year from the school database. What a great way. Copy it all, paste it into an email, and send a very targeted note to those families who have not bought a book yet with a button to buy their book online. So, little side note, under reports, you can do a search for non-buyers.
For this example, I'll leave the display field set to all packages. The next 3 pull-down menus allow you to sort and subsort the data. For this example, I'll sort the information by grade and then by last name. You can also choose to set a date range for the orders. When you've set your options, click Run Report. Once the report is generated, you can choose to review it on the eBusiness screen, or you can export the report using these options. Excel will generate an Excel spreadsheet with the report data, and PDF will generate a PDF of the report. For this example, I'll choose to generate an Excel spreadsheet. Once the spreadsheet is generated and opened, you'll see the distribution list gives you information to identify each student, including any information that was uploaded as part of the name list or collected during sales. Once the data is open in Excel, you can sort the list in any way you wish and even break it up into separate lists for use in distribution. And that's how you generate distribution reports in eBusiness.
So again, I thought that'd be a helpful thing this time of year if you're using eBusiness now, a way to just quickly capture the data you're going to need shortly to hand out these beautiful new books that you've created. So if that's not something you're using this year, I just want to highlight it too, something to think about for next year. Again, inspiration for next year. Now, one last thing on the topic of distribution in this time of year, and I'll include a link to this PDF as well. It's labeled April, but May. This is a great thing to look at, again, distribution day, as well as planning ahead for next school year. Just a couple to-dos if you're looking at what should be a priority this time of year in May, and getting ready for distribution, end of the school year, celebrating this beautiful book we're working on, and maybe start planning for next year. Now, on that topic, as I said at the start of this episode, this one is more about inspiration and celebration, right? So we've just all worked really hard to create this beautiful publication that documents what happened at your school this year, and it's really an exciting thing. And it's a big task for those listening. It's a big task that you've taken on, and I know you take pride in it. That's why you're watching this. That's why you work on your yearbook so hard. So it is time to, personally, I want to shout out to all of you and thank you for all your hard work. And in closing, I want to share one video that speaks to that. We interviewed a few teachers from all around the U.S., and this is just part 1 of, I think there's a 3-part series here, that is all about yearbook in one word and what it means to teachers and students, and just getting a little perspective and, again, appreciation for all the hard work you do, because coming up here soon, either end of this month or start of the next school year, depending on when you get your books, this is the fun part, right? All this hard work, you get to see those books. You open that box for the first time and the smell of that fresh ink and seeing what you've worked so hard on. And then even more fun, and I remember this as a student myself, is watching those be handed out to all the students in the community at school and watching them react and enjoy what you've worked so hard on. So again, in closing, I'm going to share that video now, and then this will wrap up the podcast today. But thank you for all your hard work. Welcome to May, and I'm sure we'll talk soon. If you have any questions in wrapping up or planning for your distribution or yearbook camp, please do reach out. I look forward to hearing from you soon, and most importantly, I can't wait to see your new yearbook soon. Have a great day.
If I could describe Yearbook in one word, Yearbook is passion. Yearbook is the one thing for so many of my students that they can commit to 100%. It is the one thing in my life with those students that we can work as equals, that we can work on a project that is meaningful, and when it all comes together, we can be passionate about what we do, and students don't have that about a lot of other things in school.
If I could describe Yearbook in one word, it would be exhausting. It is a long, arduous process that I didn't know what I was getting into when the school asked me to take over Yearbook, but we spend a lot of late nights working, putting this thing together. We spend a lot of time planning, and it's because we want it to be the best product. Every year we want to outdo what we did the year before, and it is exhausting. The exhaustion comes in from trying to be the best, not necessarily like it's a lot of work, but trying to outdo ourselves. But it is quite an exhausting process of putting that book together.
If I had to sum up Yearbook in one word, it would be love. And the reason why I love Yearbook so much and my kids love it is because we love our school. And we feel like you need to love your school in order to tell the beautiful story of your school, because we have 1,400 kids, and every single kid in that school has a wonderful story to tell. And in our room, we make sure that every single kid's talents and concerns and skills and thoughts and feelings are shared with our whole staff, and that they're respected and cared about. And I think that's so important.